Hello, my name is Kirill Skaranin. I'm the chief architect at Level 80 Architects. Let me tell you a little about our company and what we're working on right now. Our collaboration with BI Group started with a tender project. This tender project was called Akbulak Riviera, and this was a project that had been at a standstill for 8 years. And we found a way out of the dilemma that existed in this project. In other words, we came up with an architectural solution that both the developer and the city liked. And after that, we basically opened the door to other projects, because it turns out that Belarusians are actually quite similar to Kazakhs in terms of mentality. At the same time, we're Europeans, and at the same time, we understand you very well. So it turns out that we're these understandable foreigners. And it's precisely because of this image of being understandable foreigners that people started coming to us again and again. And by now, we've already done, maybe 20 projects for BI Group of all different sizes, including the most elite ones. And I'm really proud of that. Akbulak Riviera is a premium residential complex, and we wanted to make the most of the existing conditions. For example, the trees. There were already residential buildings on the territory of this complex, and there were mature trees there that we wanted to preserve. So we designed the entire layout of the residential complex around these grown trees. And for us, it was a big challenge to preserve all this greenery just as it is. So everyone won. We got a good layout, and the clients kept the trees, which were very important to them. When the clients came to us, they didn't really understand what format this residential complex should take. So we developed several different housing formats to see which ones would work. So our first problem was that there's a busy street next to our residential complex, so we needed to create a tall building that would shield the street, meaning protect from the noise. Then the first format is a linear multi-apartment building. These are the most affordable apartments which serve as a noise barrier. They also need to be there, and we have them. The second level of apartments are the ones in urban villas. This is also an unusual format for you. Basically, it's a multi-story building with a single entrance containing several large apartments. And these apartments have large balconies and spacious terraces. So basically, it's like you're buying an apartment in a building, but at the same time, you get the space and all sorts of perks as if you were living in a private house. And that was the second type of housing. And the third type of housing was the standalone villas that we designed for this area. But as it turned out, villas aren't very popular. But the apartments in the urban villas, those really took off. Everyone liked them. Everyone wanted an apartment in those urban villas. So it turned out that the clients bought another piece of land nearby, and we built several villas on this new plot. And we filled the entire original area with urban villas and line houses. And everything sold out just like that really quickly. Because the offer was good, because we created the value that the client expected from us, and we did exactly what, as it turns out, you needed. Honestly, we were surprised at how efficiently we designed these apartments. It's very important to have a good view. It's very important to have a big window. And, well, of course, you need to have a good location. In other words, our location in this case was super premium, and we made the absolute most of it. When we were designing the Akbilak Riviera neighborhood, we wanted to create a community where people could get to know each other, become friends, where kids could play with other kids, so that all of this would really come to life. I really wanted to see our neighborhood truly alive, not just people coming home in the evening, watching TV and going to bed. I wanted neighbors to know each other, for kids to play together, and for it to be safe there, so that there would be a neighborhood watch, so neighbors would know each other and keep an eye on the whole courtyard. And, well, I'd like this to be the kind of neighborhood where you're not afraid to let your 6-year-old go outside to play with friends in the courtyard. And I genuinely want it to be that way. For us, as Europeans, sometimes less is more. Sometimes we build a smaller house, but make it out of higher quality materials. Or we don't waste resources on large spaces. We pack everything in compactly. But for me, as an architect, it's very important to create buildings that are like works of art, where everything around is very well detailed. And often, when you just make something big and massive, you can't work on every corner. But when you make something compact, you can treat the whole building like a toy, work it over in your hands, turn it around. And I would really love for us to make these kinds of toys that we can turn around, where we've worked on every little corner so that it becomes, a kind of sculpture. And I would really like for all our future projects to be these kinds of sculptures that we hand over to our clients with love.